Most smart people never get respect. Think about that for a second. You're the one who sees things first. You're the one who figures it out. And somehow, someone else gets the credit. Someone else gets listened to, and you're standing there wondering, what do they have that I don't? I'll tell you what it is. And no, it's not confidence. It's not charisma. It's not some personality trait you either have or you don't. It's 5 specific habits. And pay close attention when we get to number 4. It's the move people who outsmart the room use without anyone in that room ever realizing they're being played. You'll spot it in someone you know the second I describe it. Here's the real problem. Smart people lose social situations constantly. Not because they aren't smart, because they're using the wrong kind of smart. They're playing chess while everyone else plays checkers, and they still lose. Why? Because they're too busy proving how smart they are, showing their cards, leaking energy everywhere. And people read that. A study from Columbia University in 2021 found that people who talk more in group settings are consistently rated as more confident, but not more competent. Not more trusted. Just louder. That's the trap. And most people never climb out of it. Here are 5 things people who actually outsmart the room do differently. Not the loudest. Not the most impressive looking. The ones who are always 3 steps ahead. Number 1. They listen for the leak. This sounds obvious. It is not. Most people talk to fill silence. They explain, they justify, they share things nobody asked for. And every word they say is information. Information other people quietly file away and use later. People who outsmart the room learned early that the room itself does most of the work if you let it. The person who outsmarts the room, they listen until everyone else has shown their hand. Then they speak once, with precision. You know that feeling when someone says one thing and the whole room goes quiet? That's not luck. That's what happens when every word you say matters because you haven't wasted any. Try this tomorrow. In any conversation, speak 30% less than usual. People talking is people leaking. Listen until they've handed you the answer. And here's the deepest version of this nobody teaches. Listen to what someone criticizes, not what they say about themselves, what they go after in other people. People criticize what they secretly wish they had the courage to do, or what they're most afraid is true about themselves. The friend who never stops mocking people who sold out for the corporate job is the one who would take that job tomorrow. Tomorrow, if it were offered. The cousin who calls everyone fake is usually who calls everyone fakes is usually the most performative person in the room. The coworker who keeps bringing up how lonely their single friend must be is the one losing sleep over their own marriage. Criticism is a confession that hasn't admitted itself yet. Listen for it. The people in your life have been telling you their secrets for years. They've just been wrapping them in someone else's name. Number 2. They notice what people defend without being asked. Here's what most people miss. Someone tells you a story, and partway through they slip in an unprompted defense. I wasn't trying to, but, or it's not like or I know how it sounds, but. Watch what comes after that, but. That's where the truth lives. People who outsmart the room don't react to those defenses. They listen to them. Because unsolicited defense is a confession dressed up as apology. Nobody defends themselves against a charge that was never made, unless they've already laid the charge against themselves. This works at work, at home, in every conversation that matters. The next time someone explains why they are not jealous, not upset, not hiding something, pay close attention. They just told you exactly what they are feeling. Before number 3, you're not skimming for the bullet points like most people. You're actually sitting with this. Hit subscribe if you want more. There's probably someone in your phone right now who's been losing every room to one of these people for years. Sending this their way might give them the exact answer they couldn't find on their own. And number 4 is the move those people are quietly counting on you never figuring out. Number 3. They watch what people do, not what they say. This one is everything. People lie with their words constantly. But behavior? Behavior almost never lies. Someone tells you they care. Great. Do they show up? Do they follow through? Do they remember what matters to you? Anyone can rent a sentence. Not everyone can pay the rent on showing up. Words are cheap. Behavior costs something. A 2019 study out of the University of Michigan found that humans are wired to believe spoken language over observed behavior, even when behavior directly contradicts the words. They called it verbal override bias. Someone fails you 6 times, then they say sorry, and your brain goes, okay, that's not trust. That's a habit of ignoring what's right in front of you. I learned this the hard way 3 years ago after someone I trusted completely let me down in a way I never saw coming. When I looked back, every single sign was there. I just wasn't watching. Don't make the same mistake. Number 4. They watch the first 3 seconds. This is the one I told you to wait for. Here's the truth most people miss. Words lie, faces lie. But the half second between what you say and what someone performs back at you, that does not lie. Real reactions arrive in the first 3 seconds. After that, everyone has had time to put on the costume. Tell someone your good news and stop talking. Watch their face for 3 full seconds before they say a single word. Does the smile arrive at the same time as the eyes or 2 beats late? Does their body lean toward you or hold still? Do they swallow, exhale, or freeze? That window is the one moment in any conversation where the mask is fully off, The person who outsmarts the room learn to watch that window. They do not argue with what someone says afterward. They already know. Number 5. They always ask one more question. Most people accept the first answer. They nod and move on. The person who outsmarts the room asks one more question. Always. Why do you think that? How did you come to that? What happened right before? That one extra question does 2 things. First, it gets you real information, not the rehearsed version. Second, it tells the other person you are genuinely paying attention. And that is so rare that people will feel an unusual connection to you after just one conversation. That thing from the beginning. The idea that it's not about how smart you are, but how you use it. This is the use. One more question. That's the whole move. Here's what all 5 of these have in common. None of them are about being smarter. They're about watching what other people give away without knowing they are giving it. The people who outsmart the room aren't tricking anyone. They're just paying attention to the part of the conversation everyone else is too busy talking through to notice. The leak. The unprompted defense. The first 3 seconds. The behavior under the words. The follow-up question that flushes out the real answer. Once you start watching for those, the room stops being a mystery, and when you start seeing the leaks, something shifts. People start coming to you. They start asking for your opinion. They start noticing when you speak, because you've made yourself the person who actually sees what's happening. That's not a trick. That's just what happens when you stop performing and start watching. Pick one thing from this list. Just one. Not all 5. One. And use it in the next conversation you have today. If you want more real, practical stuff like this, subscribe. Takes 2 seconds, and it means you won't miss what comes next. The next conversation you walk into, you're not going to be a participant the way you used to be. You'll catch the leak. You'll hear the criticism that's actually a confession. You'll catch the unprompted defense. You'll watch the first 3 seconds. Most people live their whole lives in rooms they never actually saw. You just got the view. Use it carefully.